Hey everyone, welcome to Millennial Reviewer, where I watch old Hindi movies and see if I still like them as an adult. The first movie we're going to watch today is going to be Lajja. The way this is going to work is as I watch the movie, I'm going to make some comments about the movie, Twitter style, and post them as a review to see if I still like them. I'm also going to post my IMDb review on this page as well and see if it still holds up by the end of it. Let's start. Lajja 2001. My IMDb review for it was 8. I was 10 when it came out, maybe 11 or 12 when I actually watched it. It actually has a lot of heavy themes for an 11-year-old that weren't completely understood, but for an emerging angsty teen who is fed up with her male-dominated culture, the movie did resonate quite a bit. I would consider it an anthology before anthologies started flooding streaming sites in a way. Honestly, I forgot how long these movies were. I always had skipped the songs. This movie is freaking 3 hours and 22 minutes. Like, why? It actually hosts a large cast featuring Manisha Koirala and Jackie Shroff as the main leads, and 3 other stories featuring Mahima Chaudhary, Anil Kapoor, Madhuri Dixit, Rekha, Ajay Devgan, and Feroz Khan. And many others as well. Even Sharman Joshi makes an appearance in this. Some quick thoughts that I had while watching this movie. Okay, starting off with, obviously the main characters, Manisha Koirala and Jackie Shroff. Even in the 21st century, let's be real, it's still frowned upon to cheat on your wife and then literally just try to keep her alive to incubate your child. That's kind of weird. Also, cameo alert, Urmila Matondkar. Am I saying that right? I've never really known how to say her last name. Man, I never really realized how much they actually try to fit comedy into these movies with these side stories with people like Johnny Liver. Honestly, it really drags the movie along for no reason. I think this is going to be a recurring theme in all the movies I watch. So after Manisha Koirala actually runs away, the first story actually begins with Anil Kapoor as a thief and Mahima Chaudhary whose wedding he's crashing along with Manisha Koirala. And another dance cameo shows up with Sonali Bendre. Man, they really grabbed as many 90s female actors as possible for this movie. I guess it makes sense for the theme of the movie since it's supposed to be a woman-centric movie. Man, this drunk dude who barged into Mahima Chaudhary's room is a total a-hole. Ugh, this guy. Yes, Daddy. I can't understand how she was even attracted to him, even a little bit. How is this not embarrassing for the boy's family? After trying to say that they were short 50,000 rupees, they're trying to say, get up and let's walk away from the wedding. Honestly, doesn't everyone at the wedding think they look ridiculous? So dumb. I'm so glad that it ended the way it did. It's dramatic, and I still actually like the way it ended, but I'm kind of confused why everyone's upset about this and thinks life is over. On to the next story with Madhuri Dixit, who's always so stunning. That old guy is such a creep. Buddy Mushkil is still a banger. This play is pretty dramatic. I'm not really super familiar with Ramayan, but her acting as Sita is pretty compelling and pretty interesting to see how she's twisting the story. The Walk of Shame part also had a very Game of Thrones feel to it. On to the next depressing story with Rekha. I honestly forgot Ajay Devgan was in this movie. He shows up and just starts killing people, which is very Ajay Devgan. Okay, seriously, how are you going to try to kill a newborn baby? I know this might still happen, but I really hope this was just a little bit dramatic. Ram Dulari literally does everything. She births their children, educates the women, and pays them for all the work that they do. She's literally a boss. Her trying to speak English is also very cute. She actually isn't doing a bad job, so I don't know why Manisha Koirala is laughing. But it is kind of funny with the accent, I guess. Kind of. Okay, Ram Dulari's story is probably the most tragic of all the stories. I don't want to describe it too much because of spoilers mostly. And as an 11-year-old, I wonder how I felt about this scene. I started tearing up a lot now. I wonder if I cried back then, if I really even understood it, but whatever happened during this story is absolutely nuts. She definitely didn't deserve the ending she got, especially after all she's done for the village. I wish it's not how her story ended, but it makes sense for this movie. It's still pretty sad though. Okay, Jackie Shroff has come in like this in every single movie I've ever seen him in. And, of course, Ajay Devgan does what he does best. The ending was a little bit extra, but it had to be wrapped up into a tiny bow with the villain getting what he deserved because this is Bollywood. Whereas in real life, the villains rarely get what they deserve. And, of course, she's forgiving the dude. Duh. And somehow, Anil Kapoor is not in jail and in America and married to Mahima Chaudhary. What a nice little ending. So my first review of this movie was an 8, maybe back in 2003. 20 years later, I'm going to say that my review is a 6.5. The movie still had a lot of lingering 90s feels to it, and the length is still really long. But the overall stories were still pretty good. Obviously, now this would be considered like an anthology or probably split into an anthology. I dropped more of the points mostly because of the ending trying to be all sweet. I like the idea of hope for the future, but it all wrapped up into too nice of a bow for me. Alright guys, that's all for this video. If you like it, just subscribe and like this video. I will hopefully post more if I feel like it, if this becomes something that I really like to do. If you still feel like watching old Hindi movies, I would still recommend Lajja. It was kind of ahead of its time in its portrayal. A lot of movies are coming out like this now that are getting a lot more acclaim. I don't think this did that well back in the day. I would say I would recommend it. Maybe skip the songs unless you really want to watch them. Badi Mushkil you still have to watch. If not, just watch it separately. It's a great song. Okay guys, have a great day. Bye.